Level 1. The Applicant. You are 24 years old. You have a college degree, a clean record, and a dream. You go online and fill out the FBI job application. It takes 2 hours. They ask about your whole life, every job, every address, every person you've ever known. Then you wait. 4 months go by. Nothing. You almost forget about it. Then the phone rings. A real FBI agent wants to meet you. You drive to the field office. There are metal detectors at the door, cameras everywhere. A serious man in a suit sits across from you. He asks you why you want to work for the FBI. You give your best answer. He nods. Then he asks harder questions. Why did you quit your last job? What happened on the night of March 14th, 5 years ago? You didn't think anyone knew about that night. They know. They talked to your old friends, your college roommate, your neighbors, your ex. They looked at your bank account, your driving record, your social media, every photo, every post. Then comes the lie detector test. 3 hours in a small, quiet room. Wires on your chest, wires on your fingers. The examiner asks questions you've never answered out loud before. Drug use, money problems, things you thought were private. 6 weeks later, a letter arrives. You have been selected. Report to Quantico, Virginia. Your old life is over. Level 2. The Trainee. The FBI Academy is in the middle of a Virginia forest. You live here for 20 weeks. You share a small dorm room. You wake up at 5:30 every morning. You run. You lift. You study federal law all day. You learn how court cases work. You learn how to write reports the right way. Every little detail matters. Every word you write might one day be read by a judge. Then comes the shooting range. They hand you a Glock 19. Your hands shake. The instructor yells at you until they stop. You shoot thousands of rounds. In the dark, while moving, while stressed. After a few weeks, you stop thinking. You just shoot. There is a fake town at the academy called Hogan's Alley. Fake bank, fake houses, fake streets. Instructors pretend to be criminals. You respond to fake crimes, bank robbery, drug raid, kidnapping. Everything is filmed. Everything is graded. Did you say the right words? Did you handle the weapon correctly? Did you secure the scene? One mistake means you do it again. About 1 out of every 20 trainees don't make it through. They go home. You make it. On a Friday morning, your family watches as you raise your right hand and take the oath. You receive your badge. You receive your gun. You are now a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Level 3. The Special Agent. Your first office is in a small city in the middle of the country. You are the newest agent. Everyone calls you the new guy. For 2 years, you are supervised. You don't make decisions alone. You take notes while your partner works. You write the reports after. You make the phone calls nobody else wants to make. Your first real case is a bank robbery. A masked man with a gun took $8,000. You watch security footage for days. You call other banks. You knock on doors. It is slow. It is boring. Nothing like the movies. 2 weeks later, you catch a break. The robber used a stolen car. You trace it. You find a name. You find an address. You show up at a trailer at 7 a.m. with your partner. The man is asleep. He does not fight back. You put the handcuffs on. You read him his rights. You put him in the car. This is your first arrest. You thought it would feel like something big. It doesn't. It feels normal. Your partner says this is what the job really is. 90% waiting and paperwork, 10% action. The action is never as exciting as you imagined. You file the report. The man pleads guilty. You never go to trial. You close the folder. You open the next one. Level 4. The Senior Special Agent. 5 years in, you are no longer supervised. You work on your own cases. You now show the new agents how things are done. You are on a violent crime squad now. Armed robbery, gang activity, kidnapping, cases that cross state lines. Right now, you are hunting a crew of bank robbers,
4 men. They have hit banks in 3 states and taken $400,000. They are smart. They change cars. They wear gloves. They never talk on the phone. You go back and study every robbery. You find patterns. Same timing, same style, same escape routes. Slowly, a picture forms. You find a partial license plate on a camera. You track it. You find a man. You watch him for weeks. You photograph him buying groceries. You photograph him meeting his friends. You map his whole life.
You take all of this to a federal prosecutor. She agrees to let you tap his phone. Now you listen to every call. And one afternoon, you hear them planning the next job. You set up around the bank. 6 agents, 3 cars, waiting. They arrive. They walk inside. You wait until the doors close. Then you move. You block the exits. You draw your weapon. You order them to the floor. They go down. No shots fired. 4 arrests. $200,000 recovered. You testify in court. The jury finds them guilty. When you walk out of the courthouse, you feel it. This one mattered. Level 5, the Supervisory Special Agent. 12 years in, you are promoted. You now run a squad of 10 agents. But the job changes completely. You are no longer the one chasing the case. You are the one approving it. You review reports. You sign off on plans. You sit in meetings. Agent Carter is going through a divorce and missing deadlines.
Agent Reeves drinks too much. Agent Flores wants to transfer because she is burnt out. You handle all of it. You are part boss, part counselor, part paper pusher. You brief your superiors every week. You write memos explaining why your squad needs more resources. You justify every decision. You miss the cases. You miss the action. But this is how you move up. Then a terrorism case lands on your desk. A small group is planning an attack on a federal building. You lead the investigation. You bring in Homeland Security, ATF, and local police. You build the plan. You hold the briefings. You approve the takedown. On the night of the arrest, your agents move in. You are in a command center watching a screen, not on the street, not at the door, watching. The next morning, the news says FBI thwarts terror plot. There is no mention of you. Your agents get the credit in the room. Your boss gets the credit on TV. You are fine with that. That's leadership.
Level 6, the Assistant Special Agent in Charge. You are transferred to a major field office. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, one of the big ones. You are the number 2 in the office now, the ASAC. You oversee hundreds of cases and 200 people. You are not working cases. You are managing the people who do. One morning, an agent fires his weapon on the street. You spend the next week in review boards explaining what happened. Another week, an operation fails and a suspect escapes. You write a full report to headquarters. Another month, someone in your own office is accused of misconduct. You have to investigate your own people. The politics are constant. The U.S. Attorney wants updates. Headquarters wants reports. Local police want credit. Everyone has an agenda. You learn to give people what they need to keep things moving. You attend community meetings. You shake hands with police chiefs and mayors. You smile in photos. You give speeches. You hate every second of it, but it is part of the job.
You sleep 4 hours a night. Your personal life is falling apart. You have missed more family dinners than you can count. Birthdays, school events. You tell yourself it is worth it. Some nights you believe it. Some nights you don't. Level 7, the Special Agent in Charge. You run an entire field office now. You are the SAC. For most agents, this is the top. This is the dream. 400 people work under you. You manage the whole region. You meet with senators. You testify before committees in Washington. You fight for your budget every year. The cases on your desk are no longer small. A spy ring, a terror cell, a foreign government trying to steal military secrets. You decide which operations move forward. You decide which ones stop. Every decision has real consequences. One night, you approve a raid. You have looked at it from every angle. You believe it is solid. Your agents go in at 3 a.m. Something goes wrong. An agent is shot. He dies at the hospital 4 hours later.
You stand at a podium at his funeral and tell his family he died serving his country. You mean every word. But when you go home that night, you sit alone in the dark. You think about every choice you made that led to that raid. You don't talk about it. You just carry it. Level 8, the Executive Assistant Director. Washington, D.C., FBI Headquarters. You are here now. You oversee an entire division, maybe criminal investigations, maybe national security. Thousands of agents fall under your command, even if you will never meet most of them. Your day starts at 7 a.m. and ends at 8 p.m. Budget meetings, strategy sessions, emergency calls. You brief the Attorney General. You sit in national security briefings with people who shape policy for the whole country. When something goes badly wrong in any field office in America, your phone rings. When something goes right, someone above you receives the credit. You have not made an arrest in 15 years. You have not drawn your weapon in 20 years. But with one decision, you can shift where 1,000 agents focus their attention. You decide what the FBI cares about this year. That is real power. Quiet power, invisible power. Nobody outside these walls knows your name. That is exactly how it is supposed to be. Level 9, the Deputy Director. You are number 2 in the entire FBI. Only the Director outranks you. 35,000 employees, field offices in every state, FBI offices in 80 countries around the world. You brief the president. You sit in the situation room when there is a national crisis. You testify before Congress every few months. Senators ask you pointed questions on live television. You give answers that are honest, but carefully chosen. You protect what needs to be protected while telling the public what they have a right to know. Everyone in the room knows the rules of this game.
You manage relationships with the CIA, the NSA, and a dozen other agencies. Everyone guards their own secrets. Everyone wants credit. Everyone blames others when things go wrong. You spend enormous energy just keeping these relationships functional. You approve operations that could become international incidents if they fail. You make decisions knowing that someday historians might read about them. You are 62 years old. You sleep 3 hours a night. Your back hurts, your knees hurt, your blood pressure is too high. Your family has survived your career, barely. Your children are grown. They are proud of you in a quiet way that comes with distance. You think about retirement, but there is always one more threat, one more reason to stay one more year. Level 10, the Ghost. 40 years. You give 40 years to the FBI. On your last day, there is a ceremony at headquarters. The director gives a speech. Some of your old colleagues attend. A few of them cry. You receive a medal. It goes into a box in the back of your closet. You can't explain to anyone what you did to earn it.
You move to a quiet house in Virginia. You have your pension. You have your health care. You have your freedom. You try to be normal. You fish. You take long walks. You call your kids on Sundays. But at 3 a.m., you are awake. You walk the edges of your yard, looking for threats that are not there. You check the locks twice. You sit by the window. You cannot turn it off. You will never turn it off. You think about all of it, the cases, the people you put away, the agents you lost, the decisions you made that you can't take back. You think about the ones you saved and the ones you couldn't. There are things you saw that you will never talk about. There are things you did that history will never record. The country is safer because of work you cannot describe in operations that never appeared in any news story. Nobody knows. That was the job. And somewhere right now, a young person is filling out an application on the FBI website. They are excited. They are ready to serve. They imagine the cases, the action, the meaning.
They have no idea what they are walking into. They don't know about the loneliness, the moral weight, the nights you sit alone with what you know. They don't know that the job doesn't end when you retire. It becomes part of who you are, forever. But they will find out, just like you did.